What you remember in the last moment counts. There is a beautiful story in Upanishads, the sacred Vedic text. A rishi called Jatabharata somehow became attached to a deer he had rescued. He was living the life of a renunciate, but he got attached to this deer. From morning till night, he used to spend his time taking care of that deer. When he was dying, he was not able to forget the animal. He started worrying about the deer. Who will take care of the deer? What will happen to it after my death? When he died, in the next birth, he was born as a deer. Beautifully, the verse in the Upanishad says that whatever you think in your last moment, you become that. Some people think very cleverly, let me live my whole life the way I want to live. In the last few moments, I will remember God and chant His name and enter heaven somehow. Please be very clear. Only that which you thought of in your whole life will come up when you leave the body. Don't think that at the last moment you can play the game. No. Actually, when you leave the body, your whole system will be in such agony because 80 or 90 years of your life will be running through in a fast forward mode. All that will be seen are the scenes being fast forwarded. Whatever experience you had intensely, only that will come up before you. Your spiritual experiences will come up in multicolor. Please understand that thoughtless awareness is the strongest experience you can have in your life. Even for a single moment, if you had that experience, it is enough. Naturally, when you leave the body, that will come up. That will act as light and you will be able to move into the consciousness. What happens at the time of death? Only an enlightened being, a person who has gone through death consciously and come back anew, can exactly explain what happens during death. This may be surprising, even shocking to many of you, but this is the truth. Whether you believe it or not, accept it or not, this is what happens at the time of death. We do not just have one body. The physical body is just one of the 7 bodies we have. It is only the gross body that can be felt and seen in space-time. However, we actually have 7 layers or bodies or planes of existence. Since these layers have a subtle existence, they cannot be seen or felt by the ordinary eye. Each of the body holds a corresponding emotion. For example, the pranic body holds all the desire that arise in the life. The mental body holds all the feelings of guilt experienced in life. The etheric body holds the experience of mental pain felt in life. When the spirit leaves the body, it crosses all the 7 body layers. The physical body dies, but remaining 6 bodies do not totally die. If you are holding a lot of desires in your life, all those unfulfilled desires are held in the pranic body. So even though the physical body dies, the pranic body does not die. When the life force leaves the pranic body, the being experiences tremendous suffering. When you leave the physical body, your consciousness will be torn from the body and you will be immediately fall into coma. According to doctors, coma is the automatic mechanism to make you not feel the pain. It is automatic anesthesia. If the pain becomes too much, you can't bear and you automatically fall into a coma. When you move from the first body layer to the second body layer, all the unfulfilled desires, all the ways in which you wanted to live but you did not live come up. When this happens, it is almost as if 10 people are standing in a room kicking a football around. What will happen? Just like how the football is kicked from corner to corner, your consciousness will be kicked from all corners. In each corner, some desire will be standing and kicking it. At the time your consciousness is trying to leave the body, all your desires will be forcing you to re-enter the body so that you can enjoy them further and fulfill them. On one side, the desires will be forcing you to enter the body again so that you can live and enjoy, while on the other side the body will say, no, I am tired, I can't host you anymore, just leave. That is what causes the pulling and pushing at the time of death. The pulling and pushing is nothing but the fight between your desire and your body. Somehow you manage to move away from the pranic body and enter into the mental body. When you enter into the mental body, all your guilt arises. All the guilt about the way you felt you should have lived your life but never lived, all the mistakes committed, all regrets, everything comes up. Please understand, desire is about the future and guilt is about the past. But actually, both are one and the same. The way in which we want to live is desire, and the way in which we want to live but didn't is guilt. Guilt is nothing but reviving our past decisions with updated intelligence. Like this, step by step you move through different body layers. The less the unfulfilled desires, the lighter is the pranic body and easier is to leave this body. Similarly, the less the guilt, the lighter is the mental body and it is easier to leave this body. One more thing. When the desires, guilt and pain are less intense, you not only have an easy death with less suffering, but also age gracefully. Aging gracefully is what Vanaprastha Sannyas is all about. Being able to live in fulfillment in the later part of life, the tremendous gift of Vanaprastha Sannyas. All the guilt that we collect over our lives rise as we pass through the mental body. Then we come to the etheric body, which is related to all our sufferings. All the sufferings that we went through during our life is stored here. The first four bodies are related to the physical body and mind system. They store all the engrams related to desires, guilt and pain experienced during that lifetime. The fifth body is experienced during deep sleep and when leaving the body. The sixth body is associated with happy memories and the seventh body is beyond sorrows and happiness, the ultimate consciousness. Please understand, even attachment to happy memories bring us back into the cycle of birth and death. The desire to experience more and more similar incidents that are happy and joyful pulls us back and we take more births. Happiness is a temporary feeling created by the mind. Bliss, the seventh body, is the true reality. It is the causeless, unending happening inside you of spontaneous energy, joy and auspiciousness. It is like a fountain that continuously happens inside you for no reason. Actually, the reason your favorite candy gives you the happiness is that it acts as trigger to put you into the space of bliss. That is your true nature. But you mistake the happiness to be because of the candy, the external object. The happiness is because for those few moments you came in touch with your inner bliss. The cleaner the bodies, the lighter they are, and easier it is for the life force to leave the body. Just like it peels off a ripe banana, the life force easily moves out of the body. Death happens every day in the seven bodies. The first four bodies, physical, pranic, mental and etheric, collapse into the casual body every time you go to sleep. The darkness of the casual body is associated with the deep sleep state, which is what rejuvenates you every day. So till you cross the fifth body, this death happens every day. This is what happens when you fall into your daily sleep. When the departing spirit moves beyond the fifth layer of casual body into the sixth layer, which is the cosmic body, the process of death is complete. If the life force does not have to take another body to fulfill its remaining desires, then it enters the seventh layer of nirvanic body, which is enlightenment. If the life force has to come back assuming another body to fulfill its desires, it is death. One more thing. When you enter into dream state and start dreaming, this whole world in which you live now becomes black and white because you are in the dream world. You forget this whole world of your waking state and dream world becomes very real and seen in multicolor. If you come out of the dream, This whole world that wakes up to is again seen in 4 dimensions, 4D. Now, when you are in the physical body and in the waking state, you experience this world as 4D in multicolor. When you are in the dream world, you experience that world as 4D. So now you are here, the dream world becomes black and white, and this world becomes 4D. And when you are there, the dream world becomes 4D and this world becomes black and white. In the same way, when you move away from physical body to the pranic body, at the time of death, this whole physical world will become unreal and be seen in black and white. All your achievements, your prides, your efforts, your sorrow, your happiness, everything will no longer have any meaning and will appear in black and white. You will wonder, why did I do all this work? Why? Why did I think of all this as the base of my life? Let me explain why this happens. When you are alive, you invest in your personality. You build up your personality based upon a few pillars: money, name and fame, relationship, pride that you have a big community, support circle, and so on. When you move from the physical body, all these pillars, all these foundations will be completely shaken. You can't sign your name on your checks anymore. Your signature is not accepted. Your bank balance is no more related to you. You can't handle your bank account. Your car will not be useful to you. At the most, only an ambulance will be useful. Only the conscious glimpse can come with you. Whatever has been the foundation for your being will be shaken. When the foundation is shaken, naturally you won't have anything to hold on to. As of now, this whole world will appear in 4D. All this talk about spirituality, meditation, growing the inner being, consciousness, etc. will appear as black and white. That is why when I call people for meditation, they tell me, I don't have time to meditate, let me finish all my work and then come. I have few more years to think about it. Be very clear. Never say I don't have time to meditate. Be very clear to yourself and say, I don't feel that it is that important in my life right now. If you are not ready to meditate and say, I don't think meditation is so important in my life, then you are honest. But if you say, I don't have time, then you are just fooling yourself. Everyone has got the same 24 hours on hand and do what they feel they should. It is not that the few who are meditating are jobless. It is just a question of priority of what you really want in your life. If spirituality and meditation appears as black and white to you now, you will not divert your energy in that area. That's all. You see, now we are in 2 dimensions, the material world and spirituality. Right now, what is happening is however many pillars we build our personalities and life, upon those pillars are based on the material world, which appears to be 4D. Not a single pillar is based on consciousness or inner space. Our whole personality is built only based on outer space, outer name, fame, what society speaks about us, etc. If everyone's opinion of us is that we are great, we think we are great. If everyone says you are useless, you start getting depressed. This happens because not even a single pillar of our building, our inner core or our being is based on spirituality. The entire structure is based on the outer space. That is the reason that when those pillars are shaken by anybody, we start suffering terribly. If we have even one pillar based on consciousness, we can depend on that to stand straight without suffering. If we build at least one pillar on our inner space, this pillar will shine in 4D and at the time of death and helps us to leave the body beautifully. The art of dying. There is a beautiful Zen saying, learning the art of dying is the real and the ultimate knowledge that we can learn in our life. A small Zen story. One day, an enlightened master suddenly declared that he was going to die the next day. Morning around 6 o'clock, of course, enlightened people always know about their death. they can declare beforehand they are going to die. He declared that he was going to die around 6 o'clock in the morning. His disciples said, no, no, please wait for 2-3 hours. It will be too cold early in the morning. Why don't you wait for few hours so that we can prepare for the last rites? The master agreed and told disciples that he would pass away around 12 o'clock. Exactly at 12 noon, he greeted them all and left the body. Auspicious death. A true story. The great master from India, Paramhansa Yogananda, had moved to USA in 1920 and settled there. How he left the body is very interesting. Till the last moment, he was doing his routine of giving discourses and attending programs. On the day of his passing away, he was attending a banquet in honor of then visiting Indian ambassador to USA, Binay Rajan Singh, in Los Angeles. At the conclusion of his speech, he just relaxed from his body and died. His body did not deteriorate for more than 20 days. No odor of decay came from his dead body at any time. There is a beautiful write-up about his death in his autobiography as an appendix. It was such a beautiful experience when his death was auspicious for him. Thank you for joining, everyone. We will see further in Death Part 3. Namaskar.